Black Goose TV family, man. What's good with it? Salute. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday. It's the weekend, so you already know I'm feeling great. I'm feeling absolutely great. I love the weekend. Hopefully, y'all feeling the exact same way. We up in this thing, man. We got some shit to talk about tonight. We got some real things that we need to be discussing when it comes to the boxing world. And y'all already know, y'all coming up in here, y'all see the title. It's all about Canelo. Today has been Canelo Day. Canelo just been breaking the internet when it comes to boxing news. So you already know we need to dive deep into this because I'm going to tell y'all right now. There's a lot of misinformation out there going on when it comes to this 2-fight deal that he signed with Dazn. And a lot of this misinformation comes down to clickbaits, okay? Because when you use Canelo's name, a lot of people are going to watch. But then when you add a little bit of extra spice to it, it gets everyone excited, right? So what I'm going to do tonight, what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be unbiased. We're going to present nothing but facts. And we're going to talk about this 2-fight and reportedly 3-fight deal that Canelo has signed with Dazn, who he is expected to be fighting. And we ain't going to be nothing but realistic about this. I'm not going to tell you no names that don't make no sense. We're going to be 100 with it because I'm already telling you right now, there's a lot of false information that's going on outside of, you know what I'm saying, this particular channel. There's no disrespect to any other boxing YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all. The love in the community is real. You feel me? But at the end of the day, that clickbait, boy, it can get a lot of us. You feel me? It can get a lot of us. So we ain't going to be nothing but 100 in this. But before we get into the boxing news that we will be discussing, first and foremost, you already know I got to do a mic check. I got to make sure I'm sounding crispy so y'all can hear me and everything is coming through loud, clear, and very precise. So if y'all hear a little bit of feedback, I'm making sure everything sounds right. That was the feedback right there. Everything sounds nice. Everything sounds right. All right, baby. So before we get into the actual juicy topics, all that good stuff, if you guys come up in here, man, please like, hit the like button, get your boy into the algorithm. Black Goose TV, the best boxing channel of this year, man. Like I said, this is going to be the biggest year when it comes to this channel, baby. We're going to get us into the algorithm. Family, we're going to get us into the algorithm because we know the real shit when it comes to boxing. We ain't on that other shit. So please come up in here, man. Like the video, show some love, subscribe to the channel. If you're not part of the Black Goose family, I'm telling you, when it comes to this community, it's the most tight-knit community you ever gonna see, man. It's all about interaction. It's all about your opinion. It's all about debates. So come up in this thing if you want to be heard. You feel me? So go ahead and subscribe if you're not part of the family, okay? And then third, also hit that notification gang because you know I'm giving you all types of content almost every day. So you need to have that notification on so you know I'm actually dropping it. And last but not least, I'm encouraging my Black Goose family, even if you're not part of the family and you come in here, you disagree with me, you don't like what I'm saying, man, go ahead, drop it in the comments. I ain't no hurt motherfucker. I don't care if you say something that I don't like, if you say something that don't make no sense to me. Drop it in the comments. Let me hear your opinion, man. Get me in the algorithm. Voice your opinion. Let yourself be heard, man. So now that we got all that out the way, right? All that out the way. No more promoting, none of that extra shit. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get into the things that y'all are in here for. So fast forward all that other bullshit. Get to this 4-minute mark. Let's talk that talk. What are we specifically going to be discussing tonight? Fluenceboxing, Friday, 2/25/2022. Man, we're going to be talking about Canelo, baby. We're going to be talking about Canelo. We're going to be talking about Dazn. We're going to be getting into all that. Why are we going to be talking about all these things? Obviously, it's been reported as of today that 2-fight deal with Dazn has been finalized. The pen has been put to the paper. You feel me? So there ain't no more speculation. There's no more rumors. We know the deal. We know the truth. We know what's going on with the GOAT of the boxing right now. And anybody who disagrees with Canelo being the GOAT of boxing at this, current time, I'm not saying overall, but at this current time in our generation, or at least during the present time of us enjoying boxing, Canelo's that guy. We had Floyd before him, right? Canelo has taken that reins and he's making it happen on a whole nother level. Everybody's trying to get into the Canelo sweepstakes, as I like to call it. Everybody trying to buy their lottery ticket to cash in on that Canelo paycheck. You feel me? But let's get into it. Not only, and let me say this too, not only is the boxers trying to get into them sweepstakes, so is the promoters. You see PBC, baby. PBC wanted that. Oh, PBC, come back over here, Canelo. Come back over here, Canelo. You built up Caleb platforms. Come back over here, man. We need you. And you know Eddie Hearn, man. Eddie Hearn, bam, he be like, man, I ain't even worried about nothing, man. I was the first person that he came to when he got out of that Oscar De La Hoya deal, out of that Golden Boy promotional snake shit. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I planned it with him because if y'all don't remember, when he signed with Dazn through Golden Boy, all of a sudden some type of debacle happened where he didn't get paid enough money. He sued both Dazn and Golden Boy, but somehow Golden Boy was the only one who got the blunt of the trauma. You feel me? What do I mean by that? Canelo left Golden Boy. Say, you owe me money, nigga. Dazn owes me money. Wait, if both of them owe you money, then why did you go with Dazn right after you got out of Golden Boy? You feel me? So power play, nothing but respect to Eddie Hearn, man. But let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about it. What are we going to be breaking down? What are we going to be looking into? What are we going to be making sense? Let's start off first and foremost, man, with the rumors, right? There's a lot of rumors going on when it comes to this 2-fight deal, a lot of speculation, a lot of misinformation, a lot of clickbait titles, all these different type of things, man. And I want to address it. I want this to be addressed first because in my opinion, it's the most important thing because first and foremost, I'm one of the biggest fans of Boo Andrade, man. I'm the biggest fan. If you've been following my channel for a while, you already know I've been rocking with him since day one, right? But I have heavy criticism because of the business side of things, right? Whether it be because people are avoiding him because he's too high of a risk and low reward. At the end of the day, that has nothing to do with his skill set. If someone sees you as too high of a risk and low reward, and you have the skill set to be considered one of the best in your division, that means it's bad business. Because if it's good business, people won't be avoiding you because it's too high of a risk and low reward. People will be avoiding you until it makes sense because they know I have to fight this guy if I want my legacy to actually mean something at the end of the day. See what I'm saying? And that's business. That's marketing. That's being able to set something up in a certain way. Where when you look at our fighter, when you look at Boo Boo, these other fighters can't say, "Oh, I'm great," without fighting this guy. If you can say, "Oh, I'm great," without fighting this guy, and you know the guy you're talking about is great as well, that's bad business from that side of the team, from that side of the game. It just is what it is. Okay. So the misinformation I want to clear up is their speculation. The one thing that is true, guys. This 2-fight deal with Eddie Hearn and Dazn is actually a 3-fight deal. Okay? That is facts, right? Eddie Hearn has came out today and he has said, hey, we got the 2-fight deal finalized. We got all the details worked out. But in reality, we're working in a negotiation with Canelo at this moment to make a 3rd fight tagged on to that 2-fight deal where he'll fight at the end of December if all goes well. The rumors are the opponents that he may possibly face for that 3rd fight deal, right? And so if you know that most boxing fans aren't going to go out themselves and read these articles and watch these interviews, you can easily say, hey, he's going to be fighting Charlo. He's going to be fighting Benavidez. He's going to be fighting Andrade. When Eddie Hearn has specifically said the 2 opponents that are the options for that 3rd fight deal. We're going to get into that. What's good with the last one? Good to see you up in here, man. The OG of the channel. Hey man, what do you think of the move is for the Ryder fight? Sorry, I just got here. That's why I love Last One, man. He know the truth. He know the truth. That's why I love my Black Goose family, man. When you join this family, man, we about unbiased opinions, fact-based perspectives, and it is also knowing the real. You know what I'm saying? Last One said Canelo would smash both Makabu or Ryder. What's the point? So let's get into that. Let's get into that because there's been misinformation and there's been rumors put out there that supposedly the 3rd fight that's going to be added on to this already 2-fight deal with Canelo, there's a possibility that it might be Andrade. Okay? Now, I'm telling you this right now. That would get a lot more people interested in hearing my video if I said, hey, Canelo's going to be a motherfucking legend, excuse my language, this year, and he's going to fight Bivol at light heavyweight, Triple G, a goddamn legend, for that 3rd trilogy fight, and then he fights Andrade. Like, dude, all hell King Canelo. All hell King Canelo. But that's just not true. All right, let's just keep it realistic. Let's just keep it 100. The information is already out there. Eddie Hearn has already proclaimed it. There's only 2 options when it comes to that 3rd fight, and it has nothing to do with Andrade. I've already broken down when it comes to Andrade fighting Parker. He's fighting for the WBO interim belt at 168. So that does not make him a mandatory. So please, guys, do not listen to any of these channels who are saying that if Andrade beats Parker, he becomes Canelo's mandatory. He does not. He gets the WBO interim belt. He would have to fight one more time to become the mandatory. Okay? His options are Makabu at cruiserweight, right? Or John Ryder at 168. John Ryder is currently the mandatory for the WB8, the WB8 belt, WBA belt at 168. Okay. Those are his two options, right? Not as appealing as the Andrade option, right? Get a lot more clicks, a lot more people, talking about it if it's Andrade, but in reality, it's John Ryder or Makabu. Okay. And Eddie Hearn is one of the few promoters that I actually listen to. When he says something, there's some type of possibility in it happening. These other promoters, Bob Arum, Al Heyman doesn't speak, obviously, Oscar De La Hoya, Frank Warren, I take a lot of that stuff with a grain of salt. But with Eddie Hearn is proven. So when he says something might be happening, there's a 50-50 chance of it happening. While with other promoters, there's really like a 10% chance of it happening. It's not percent who's Ryder. So Ryder, if you're in the U.S., a lot of people aren't going to know who John Ryder is because, like Lost One said, he's an English boxer from London, nothing crazy. He's over in the UK, right? John Ryder is actually a pretty solid fighter if you follow him. He's fought some pretty a good opposition. But obviously, if you just want me to be 100% with you, he's not necessarily at the level that you would want Canelo to be fighting at. But in similar to fashion to what he did last year, you guys got to remember there's a reason why he goes to DAZN. DAZN, Eddie Hearn. I talked about this too in the other Fluenceboxing. There's a reason why he goes to DAZN. Eddie Hearn, he understands how special Canelo is. And he also understands that I'm not going to leverage Canelo so I can somehow get a benefit in the long run against him. I am going to give him what he wants, make the most money out of it, create a good relationship with him now, even if that means possibly derailing a future superstar that may bring me all this type of money in 10 years now. Because also you guys have to remember with DAZN, DAZN has a certain amount of money that they need to get back in a certain amount of years. That's also why this particular fight is going to be pay-per-view, Bivol versus Canelo, and probably Triple G and Canelo when they said they're not doing pay-per-view. So you have to understand that too. So just like the year before when he had the Billy Joe Saunders fight and the Callum Smith fight, we saw in between those two fights was against Yildirim, right? And everyone was like, why are you fighting Yildirim, right? But it makes sense for Canelo because he's like, okay, Callum Smith is a big test for me. Big boy, super middleweight, long, rangy. Billy Joe, you know what I'm saying? If you're aware of Billy Joe, it's another big test. Adds to the legacy crazy. I need to fight Yildirim, one, because obviously I want to get a payday. I've known Yildirim for a long time, but also it allows me to have a break in between these, two tough fights, right? But it also is able to add to my legacy because even though you might look at it and be like, oh, Yildirim ain't shit, you still see a W, okay? And that's something that DAZN is able to present to Canelo. He's able to say, hey, here's Bivol, a guy that we have a lot of faith in and a lot of money behind to be something great, but we'll allow you to fight him and possibly beat him and derail that in order to make you happy. Then here's Triple G. Remember, Triple G came to Eddie Hearn later in his career, and he does co-promotionals with Eddie Hearn the same way Canelo does. All right? And Eddie Hearn knows this. Eddie Hearn has been basically gifting Triple G whatever fight he wants. And Triple G also understood the move to DAZN was to try to get that third Canelo fight. So now, okay, here's Triple G. The third fight is finally here. We're going to make all this money, good stuff. I bet you the incentive to him signing with DAZN over PBC was this third fight where Eddie Hearn said, hey, I'm going to try and get you that Makabu fight, something that Canelo really feels like he can get a W and really build his legacy. Or he's like, if you can't get Makabu, don't worry. I got you, Canelo. You're going to get John Ryder. John Ryder is a tough opponent. He's a solid fighter, a skilled fighter, but he's not going to be a threat to you to an extent, and it's going to allow you to end the year on a high note as well as not over extending yourself where you have these three killers in a row. Because we're talking about business now, right? And that's the key to this. Sniper said he has a hot take. I think Jamie Mwanga actually beats Andrade. That's definitely a hot take. That is definitely a hot take. Mwanga actually, I always say his last name right. Every time I go live for his fights, I always got someone coming here. That's not how you say the name, but the reason I don't want to completely disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? If I do completely disagree with that, that's just me being an Andrade fanboy at the end of the day. I can understand why you feel like he will give Andrade problems. And also, too, like we got to be realistic when it comes to Andrade. He's 33 now. Andrade isn't no young gun, right? But before I say that, I need to see him at 168. I have to see if the power carries a 168, his slickness carries a 168. In my head, just because Andrade is such a goddamn workout warrior, I think he's going to shine at a heavier weight class. So, but I'm not mad at that take at all. Plus, it bumps up his pay. That's exactly. So I'm like, the one thing I wanted to address, like specific, well, I won't say specifically, but the biggest things that I did want to kind of address is that you guys are going to get a lot of misinformation from a lot of these boxing channels when it comes to this third fight that comes on this 2-fight deal when it comes with Dazn. Why? Because obviously we want to get clicks. We want people to hop up in here. We want people to watch what we're doing, say all these different type of things, But please do not believe the narrative that anyone other than Makabu and John Ryder has an opportunity to fight Canelo when it comes to his third fight. Eddie Hearn has already put that out there. You guys can go look on boxing sites. You guys can go look on Dazn.com. This has been said by Eddie Hearn. The 2 fights that we're looking at for that December fight is going to be either Makabu or it's going to be John Ryder. Okay. So don't let anybody tell you that, oh, Demetrius Andrade fighting Zach Parker is leading up to him fighting Canelo. Now, that's not true. But in reality, as much as people may want to criticize Canelo if he ends up fighting Ryder, right? Because a lot of people would be kind of similar to its snipers, especially in the U.S. If you're not from the UK or overseas or follow UK boxing like that, you're going to be like, why is he fighting John Ryder? Like, he just got done beating a beast, say he beats a beast in Bivol, beats a beast in Triple G. By the way, y'all stop all that Triple G hate, saying he's slow and all that shit. He's been undefeated since he fought Canelo, so that doesn't make no sense. And he's about to fight Ryota Murata. If you don't know who Ryota Murata is, that's no easy fight. And if he beats Murata, then calm all that shit down. You know what I'm saying? But back to my point. If Canelo ends up beating, Bivol and Triple G, and then say Makabu ends up being busy or he ends up losing his belts, whatever it may be, and so he ends up choosing fighting John Ryder, you have to understand he's the 168 mandatory at WBA. So what does this mean? And this is the thing a lot of YouTubers won't say to you. YouTubers will give you they'll tell you who they want. They'll tell you what everyone wants to hear. Oh, his third fight is going to be against Andrade, allegedly, because Andrade is fighting Zach Parker for the WBO interim championship, right? When in reality, we know that's going to get you guys more invested, even though we know the real fight. But in reality, we understand him beating John Ryder means that he has no plans of dropping his belts at 168, people. What significance does that have? There was a lot of speculation and rumors that after he fights Bivol and if he fights Triple G, he was going to drop his belts at 168 and he was going to pursue possibly a Biv fight. So what does that mean? Andrade making his move up to 160 super middleweight, 168 means absolutely nothing, right? But hearing that there's a possibility that his third fight will be against his mandatory at WBA and John Ryder, that means Canelo has no plans of leaving 168. And so what does that mean? The closest in line to Canelo after that is not going to be a Charlo. It's not going to be a David Benavidez. It's going to be Andrade. Why? Because Andrade is going to have that WBA interim championship. Most likely, if Canelo fights in December against Ryder, Andrade will fight one more time, which they say in order for Andrade to be Canelo's mandatory. Don't believe this bullshit where they're saying if Andrade beats Parker, he's Canelo's mandatory. He's not. Andrade has to fight one more time after, if he does beat a young lion in Parker, which is not an easy fight. If he does beat Parker, he would have to fight then one more time to become the mandatory to Canelo. So what I'm saying is all these things that we're talking about, it can lead to Canelo versus Andrade late 2000 or mid 2023, right? But don't allow these YouTubers to change the narrative. That's not happening this year, right? But there are things being put in place for a possibility of that clash to happen, which also shows me that as much as people want to see Canelo versus Benavidez versus Charlo, etc., I think the PBC deal where he fought Caleb Plant, I think that was a one and done thing, guys. I don't see Canelo entertaining PBC again for the rest of his career. Why? Right? Like, someone would have to convince me that Jamal Charlo has that great of a resume where Canelo needs to fight him for him to be a legitimate GOAT of the game. Like, he doesn't need Charlo on his resume. He doesn't need David Benavidez on his resume. If he fights Andrade next year and beats Andrade, come on, man. My bad, y'all. I'm a little late to the comments. By the way, if y'all come up in here, man, please hit the like button, show some love. If you're not part of the family, subscribe. And if you got any opinion, please hit, come up in the live chat. Let me hear what you guys say. I think Demetrius will get hit with that pressure Mwanga puts on him in his power, and it goes to decision. Yeah, but you also got to remember how strong of a starter Andrade is, and Jaime Mwanga, excuse me. He's shown to be somewhat of a slow starter. So if he's fighting someone slick and as skilled as Demetrius Andrade, we're talking about maybe 5 or 6 rounds that Mwanga will give up. I still got Andrade in that. As much as I think Mwanga's a beast, I just don't think he's just on the level of Andrade when it comes to ring IQ. I just think Andrade just he puts him in the blender, man. You know what I'm saying? Just too much going on. But I do think Mwanga has the power and the youth to really put it on Andrade. But us seeing that fight actually happen, like Mwanga, that's the one person we don't talk about in the super middleweight division. He's the odd man. He's the odd man out because he's over there with Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Sniper's always really good when it comes to underdog. 33 isn't bad though. No, 33 isn't bad at all. But at the same time, you have to look at it where it's like he's going to be 35 in 2 years, right? So he's going to have to, if he's 33 now, he has to make this shit happen now, right? Andrade hasn't taken a lot of damage, things like that. And the particular style of fighting that he has, obviously, is based more on skills and athleticism. But 33 is 33, man. If you're looking to get that big fight against Canelo, man, you have to rack it up, push it forward, get things moving. But he did, like I said, in the Andrade Fluenceboxing, he's doing the right thing by moving up in weight, challenging a young gun in Parker. And if he gets that, like I said, it puts him in prime real estate to hopefully, get a chance at that Canelo fight. It's all a lead up. But I'm just saying what I'm trying to tell the people is don't be fooled or blinded by a lot of these YouTubers who are trying to make it seem like, the third fight deal might be with Andrade. Andrade is fighting part. That's not the case. We want to see Andrade Canelo fight until maybe mid next year, which I think that's gonna be the first fight. If that's not going to be the first fight of the year for Canelo, I think it's going to be a second fight. I do see Andrade and Canelo happening with the way the trajectory is going. The only way I don't see it happening if Canelo ends up fighting Makabu at the end of the year at December. But I don't think that would be the case. I think that's just too much on his plate. That's just too much he has to deal with. Bivol, Triple G, then Makabu, that's legendary. But that's just too much. It makes more sense for it to be Bivol, Triple G, and then John Ryder. That makes a lot more sense. Well, yeah, absolutely, man. Clickbait, that's what it's all part of the game. And it does bug me about that because I'm like, all I have to do is go and Google what you just said and see if it's true, and I can see it's wrong. But, in Googling it, you have to actually read the article, look into it, and see. So it takes time. So a lot of people aren't going to take that time. They're just going to, watch their favorite YouTuber, take what he says as gold. And then when some other, report comes out that refutes what they said, now that's where YouTube starts. Now we're having fun. Oh, you lied. You got the entertainment value happening and all that good stuff. A lot of people think he beats Canelo. The only thing I'll dispute against that last one where it says a lot of people think. Sorry, a lot of people will think that Andrade will beat Canelo. I'll dispute that just because a lot of people actually don't know who Andrade is. And if you look at the Canelo fan base, a lot of the Canelo fan base don't know who Andrade is. So us, like last one, you're a boxing head. So you know who he is. So in your head, you're like, okay, a lot of the people that I know or I talk to, they know who Andrade is, and they think that he'll beat Canelo. But in reality, the majority of people don't really know who Andrade is, don't know how skilled he is. If they watch his fight, they think he's boring, all this type of thing. So I would actually disagree with that. I think most people actually don't know who Andrade is, and if they have an idea of him, they think he has no chance against Canelo. Andrade doesn't beat Canelo, to be honest. That's his sniper. See, I actually agree with you. I actually think it's hard for me to see anybody beating Canelo other than it's hard for me to see anyone beating Canelo at this point. But even Andrade, man, as much as I love Andrade, man, I'm gonna be just completely unbiased with you guys right now. As much as I love Andrade, man, that is definitely a hard fight for him. But at the same time, I have to see how his slickness and his fighting style translates to super middleweight, because I'm telling you right now, his fighting style at super middleweight is going to cause problems for a lot of these guys. And the thing about Andrade too, his style, you got to remember, he's a southpaw, right? This guy is a southpaw who fights very low to the ground. So it's very difficult for the body shots to come into play. But what I see Canelo seen as a weakness when it comes to Andrade, obviously, is going to be the uppercut, similar to Billy Joe. But let me say this right now. Andrade is levels above Billy Joe. I love Billy Joe. Billy Joe's one of my guys, but Andrade is levels above Billy Joe. Andrade watches fights. He doesn't make the same mistake once. He gets caught with something, he won't make that same mistake. That's the difference between Andrade. Billy Joe, he'll get caught with something, he'll make this mistake over and over. He'll be like, why does this keep happening? Andrade, when it happens, he's like, okay, hold up. I'm not doing that again. I think Canelo really liked working with Hearn as long as Hearn is making money, he would be your best friend. Yeah, that's just a fact, man. That's just it's like you gotta look at it from Canelo's perspective. It's like, okay, they want to talk about PBC is offering more money, but we all understand the way PBC works. PBC is an entity within itself. It wants to be the UFC of boxing. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money they're offering Canelo. Canelo knows PBC's interest isn't invested in making sure that Canelo is happy. It's to build their own brand. So whatever offer they're presenting Canelo knows, all right, you are giving me this much more money than Eddie Hearn, because in your head, you're thinking I'm going to not only build your brand, but build the brand of your fighters. While Eddie Hearn, he understands that Eddie Hearn obviously is like, yeah, I'm going to make my, I am going to build your brand, but Eddie Hearn makes Canelo believe, in my opinion, like, this is about you. I want to do whatever I can to make sure everyone knows how great you are. And I think that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, and that's kind of apparent. I don't think that's anything new. Is Parker good? I haven't watched them. So I've been doing my studying on Parker because I've been hearing some things and reading some things up. He's solid. Think of Joe Smith Jr. at super middleweight. He's very similar to Joe Smith Jr. He's a bigger guy. He's a tall guy. He has power in both of his hands. He has speed. He's a good boxer. Very fundamentally sound. It's going to be a tough fight for Andrade. But I do think Andrade, I still think Andrade is one of those guys. He's a boogeyman. I just think he's going to shock a lot of people at super middleweight, man, what he's going to be able to do. Oh, Triple G versus Canelo. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then I thought you were talking about Andrade. Yeah, a lot of people do think Triple G can beat Canelo, and I also, it's like a split, because Triple G has his hardcore fans, and then Canelo has his hardcore fans. So a lot of people feel like Triple G won both of the fights. A lot of people feel like Canelo washed Triple G both the fights. Some people feel like it's 1-1. Me personally, being an unbiased guy, I'm not a big fan of Canelo or Triple G. I feel like it's 1-1. I thought Triple G won the first fight. I thought Canelo won the second one. But I don't argue with people who think Triple G can beat Canelo. I do argue with the people who think Triple G is washed because, I'm so happy I said that. I'm about to get into this. Give me 1 second. Y'all know I usually don't do this. I go straight through, but I gotta use the bathroom really quick. Y'all rock with me. Hold on. Okay. My bad, y'all. Usually I'll be good, but I had to go up in that joint. Okay. All right. So what I want to get into real quick, and I definitely want to chop it up with y'all. I'm gonna touch on that too. Lost one. Beterbiev versus Canelo. That'd be crazy. Is Triple G, right? Why are boxing fans so fickle when it comes to a particular boxer that we may not, follow or know, or, they might be fighting our favorite fighter? We're so quick to discredit them. And I hate that. And I'm not going to make this a long rant. I just want to talk about this real quick. Like, when I see basketball fans, like real purists of basketball, like they don't discredit their legends. You know what I'm saying? Even when they're still in the game and they may be too old. When Iverson was still doing what he was motherfucking doing, and we all knew he shouldn't have been on the court like that, nobody was disrespecting them as fans. You know what I'm saying? Melo, Braun right now. We do see, disrespect toward Westbrook. I'll give that as an anomaly. But You don't be seeing that in basketball. Football don't really do that. Baseball. It's like it's only in boxing where it's like we'll be such fanboys of a particular boxer that will just discredit a fucking legend of the sport who built the sport up, who contributed it in ways that we couldn't even, what I'm saying, imagine, and we'll just we're gonna discredit them. And I hate seeing this with Triple G because I see so many people when they're talking about the possibility of, well, not the possibility, now it's confirmed, with Triple G fighting Canelo and all these, he's slow, he's old, he lost both fights to Canelo, he ain't shit, da 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 da. It's like, whether you feel like he lost to Canelo or not, whether you feel like he's old, he's slow, or anything like that, he's a legend of the sport. Like, I literally see comments of people saying that, oh, him fighting Triple G for a third time doesn't build up his legacy. Like, huh? Like, how does fighting a legend not build your legacy up? Like, I didn't see nobody saying he keeping that same energy when he decided to fight Kovalev. If you're a boxing head, if you're a follower of the sport, a lot of people felt like Kovalev was kind of washed by the time he fought Canelo. And we also know that it was a quick. A lot of people just don't follow boxing know the truth. But if you're a real boxing head, Kovalev just went through a war with Yard like 2 months before, and then he took on the fight with Canelo. He didn't even have proper rest after that fight. But ain't nobody was bringing that energy, so it's just like I'm not gonna make this a long rant, but I'm just tired of seeing that when it comes to boxing. Like, why are we so disrespectful, toward our legends just because they're fighting one of our favorite fighters? Like, we can be objective and we can root for our fighters, but at the end of the day, man, like doing something like that, in my opinion, I think it waters down the sport. And that's why a lot of times, when in boxing, like the legends of the sport, they're just not appreciated like that. Like they're forgotten so quick. You know what I'm saying? So that was a quick rant I wanted to just get into because I be tired of seeing that, man. I like the comments and the way they be feeling toward that Triple G Canelo fight is kind of wild. But I get people, they such fans, man. It's just is what it is. Triple G has been after this fight for years too. He's going to be ready no matter. That's another thing, last one. But see, we're hardcore fans, so we know that. A legend in Triple G. Think about this. He's been winning this fight for about 2 years now. So you guys don't think someone who's basically kind of he's reached the pinnacle of this sport in his respective weight class. The only man he's lost to allegedly is Canelo. He signs with Dazn specifically for the Canelo fight, and now he's being told he can't get the Canelo fight. You don't think that'll do something for his motivation when it comes to other fights? You think there's a possibility that when he's coming in and he's going in to fight Derevchenko, you know what I'm saying, or these other guys, and he's thinking to himself like, I'm supposed to be training for Canelo. You don't think that might fuck up his performance, especially someone doing it so long? Like, at the end of the day, y'all can say whatever you want. Dude's been undefeated since Canelo, right? And I'm telling you guys, please, if you are somewhat of a lightweight to boxing, please tune into the Murata Triple G fight and see what Triple G does to Murata. You're going to see the old Triple G again, especially since he knows he's finna have Canelo. Like Lost One said, he's going to be ready no matter what. But I just want to touch it because I be hating. I see that so much, man. And it just blows my mind. Real quick, Lost One, you talking about beating Canelo. That's why I don't see Canelo ever fighting a guy like Beater Biv. There's a reason why Canelo's like, okay, I'm going to fight Bivol. I'm going to fight Triple G. Possibly John Ryder or Makabu. Like, Makabu is a cruiserweight. He's a bigger, supposedly, boy than Beater Biv, but Beater Biv causes Canelo a lot more problems, trust me. And then also we got to think about this too. Beater Biv is with Top Rank. Obviously, I don't see Bob Arum hesitating to make that fight happen because everyone wants to be in the Canelo sweepstakes. But I don't see Bob Arum being, on the Eddie Hearn side of the game and presenting with a contract or an offer that Canelo can look at and be like, okay, this benefits me in the long term. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as much as I would love that fight, when it comes to the business side of things, it's like, it's hard to see that happen, and that's unfortunate. But I had to go on that goddamn rant. I told y'all when it comes to Fluenceboxing, I'm not trying to go. I'm trying to keep it within that 30-minute range. So when y'all come and got that replay value, y'all don't feel like y'all listening or watching anything that's too long-winded. So I'm not gonna be on here too much longer. I just like me personally, I love boxing. All right, first and foremost. But one thing that irks me to the core is when there's public information out there, and then I see people twisting it, or putting it or changing it into their own narrative, just for people to rock with them, or people to be their fan, or people to subscribe to their channel, all that good stuff, man. But when the real shit is out there, y'all don't want to report that, right? Y'all don't want to be 100, right? Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all gonna give this like, and that's just, I just hate seeing that. And this is why I do this. You know what I'm saying? This is why I have so much passion when I be coming on this joint, because I always know there's a misconception when it comes to boxing and fighters, and when it comes to the business side of things. You know what I'm saying? I just want to try and kill that misconception, and try to like just make it joint. So whoever's part of this family, you know what I'm saying, we're all level-headed, and we're all on the same page when it comes to what we're discussing. You know what I'm saying? We can have disagreements. You can have your favorite fighter, I can have my favorite fighter, and we can have all types of different perspectives on it. But if we are on a level playing field when it comes to understanding the business of the sport, it makes the conversation so much smoother and so much better. And that's just my goal when it comes to this joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, Andrade is a dog. Ain't nobody was talking about Andrade until now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was talking about Andrade. Nobody was watching this fight till now, till it makes sense. I can connect him to Canelo. But I'm telling y'all right now, like, this is the real. If y'all come in just now, or say we watched this and all the other shit you didn't want to listen to, fast forward to right now. I'm just gonna break down and give you a quick just understanding of everything I've just been trying to tell y'all when it comes to this joint. Look, Canelo signed a 3-fight deal with Dazn. All right, Eddie Hearn has confirmed this. His first fight's against Bivol at light heavyweight. By the way, I don't know if anybody reported this, but it is for the belts. People don't want to talk about this, but it's not like he's just fighting Bivol and hey, it's just a one and done. And he's fighting Bivol for his belt. And then after, he's going to be fighting Triple G for the undisputed 160. He's going to have his belt at 168 on the line. And then the third fight added on to it is not Andrade, okay? Andrade is not his mandatory. If Andrade beats Zach Parker, he does not become Canelo's mandatory. He would just have the WBO intern championship. In order for him to be Canelo's mandatory, he would have to fight one more time. Okay? I don't know if you guys remember, a little while back, maybe 3 years ago, it was rumored, allegedly, that John Ryder and Demetrius Andrade was supposed to fight. So, guys, don't be surprised if you see the third fight be against Makabu and Canelo, and then Andrade fights Ryder for that mandatory position. And now, next year, we're looking at Andrade versus Canelo. That is realistic. That's a real possibility. But don't let nobody tell you anything different. Don't believe this other shit. All you got to do is go put in your Googles and look that joint up, okay? Andrade versus Canelo will not be happening until maybe summer of next year. And that's if everything goes right. Right? And I'm going to tell people this too, the PBC fanboys. You know what I'm saying? Don't expect Canelo to make his way back over to PBC anytime soon. He may not ever fight again for PBC. Me personally, now this is my opinion, I personally think Canelo did the Caleb Plant fight just to shut people up. I think he understood and his team understood when it come to marketing. There was a lot of people trying to put out there that Canelo was scared of the PBC fighters and he didn't want to go to PBC. So I think Canelo went ahead and did that one fight deal with PBC to be like, look, shut up. If I really want to come over here and fight these fighters, I can. It has nothing to do with ducking. It has everything to do with the best deal, right? Because remember, Canelo versus Caleb Plant got postponed because they priced themselves out at first, PBC. So that shows PBCs at the end of the day, if you understand business, is an entity. They're worried more about their brand and building their brand up rather than saying, hey, we understand this guy's technically the face of boxing. So what we need to do is give him whatever he needs in his best interest. They're not doing that. PBC won't do that. They'll say, oh, that's your best interest? Fuck off then. We're going to keep our stable of fighters right here, build these guys up, and make everybody interested in who we have over at PBC and make you guys think that we have the best fighters. That's just brilliant marketing. You've seen UFC done that, where people look at the UFC and feel like they have all the best MMA fighters, and they look at Bellator as, a second-tiered class and one champion, second-tier class. But you guys don't understand, all these guys fighting for Bellator and one championship, they train just as much as the dudes in UFC. See what I'm saying? It's all about marketing. So me personally, my personal opinion, I don't see Canelo ever going back to PBC. What's the point? I don't think PBC will offer anything lucrative enough for Canelo to make that decision unless he just wants to be like, all right, y'all been talking so much shit, I'm just going to go fight Charlo and Benavidez. That's another thing. Do you see PBC being like, okay, hey, you can just fight Charlo? Nah, they're going to tag on Benavidez. They're going to be like, yeah, you got to fight both. Because they want to put themselves in a position where if you beat one of my cash cows, I have another one to come in to possibly be able to sweep that up, and we can build our brand more so off of that. Okay. Talking about business, guys. And boxing is business. And that's just what it is. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying, don't be fooled. You know what I'm saying? Take the blinders off. Look at this shit for real. Sometimes, use your Googles, type the shit in, see if it's accurate. But I'm telling you right now, as per Eddie Hearn, we got Bivol versus Canelo. Then if that goes well, Triple G versus Canelo. And then if that goes well, most likely we either have Canelo versus Makabu in December or Canelo versus John Ryder in December. All right. And all this is lining up for a possible Canelo versus Demetrius Andrade clash. That I can say fairly confident. This is allegedly, this is rumor, speculation. This is just my perspective. I think this year, Canelo dealing with Dazn, DAZN, is going to be just leading up to an Andrade versus Canelo clash. Because if Canelo ends up fighting Andrade and he beats Andrade, he doesn't need to fight Charlo or Benavidez. That's my opinion, but I feel like it's a fact. If he beats Andrade, he doesn't need to fight Charlo. He doesn't need to fight Benavidez. It doesn't do nothing for him. So if I want y'all to take anything from this, don't take everything, you know what I'm saying, for granted. Well, let me say this. Don't take everything just for word. Like, oh, this person's saying this, that must be true. Ask some questions, dispute it, see if they really about this shit and they really know what they're talking about. But that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, man. You should never take anything, just for its word, man. You should always question. You should always try and, understand where they're coming from and make sure what they're saying is legit. All right. So I'm not going to be too long-winded. I told y'all, man, I'm keeping these Fluenceboxings around 30 minutes, man. We 12 minutes past the mark. It's all good. First and foremost, I want to say I appreciate everybody who hopped up in here, man. It's Friday night, so y'all could have been doing whatever y'all wanted. Y'all could have been out partying. Y'all could have been fucking with some chicks. Y'all could have been, watching a movie, whatever it may be. But the people who hopped up in here, man, y'all's like, man, I'm going to watch a little bit of Fluenceboxing. So I want to say nothing but appreciation when it comes to that. If you guys do come up in here a little bit later, if you guys do a rewatch, whatever it may be, if you get anything from this, hit that goddamn like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not part of the family. Hit the notification gang and please drop your comments in this joint. I want to hear what y'all got to say. I want to hear how y'all feel about the subjects and the topics that are at hand. Go ahead and check out, the short videos that I'm putting out as well, giving y'all some new boxing news. Check out the community board as well. I'm asking y'all questions. I want y'all to vote on those because I just want to know y'all opinion. And of course, baby, it's Friday, so you already know what's happening tomorrow. We got Fluence Lounge tomorrow. I can't wait for that, man. Fluence Lounge has been what? Almost 2 months. It's been 2 months. I think it's been over 2 months since I did a Fluence Lounge. So I'm excited for that, man. We're going to be litty tomorrow, man. We could probably run like a 2-hour plus stream, but we're just going to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Watch the fights. You know what I'm saying? We got Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. Chris Colbert is coming back on that card. And obviously we got Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green on the UFC side of the game. So, we're going to be getting litty and feeling absolutely giddy when it comes to them joints. So please, man, make sure y'all join me for Fluence Lounge tomorrow. Ain't nothing going to be good times. I was hoping to drop some music this Sunday. I'm not sure. I've been mad busy. But you guys are going to get some music from the channel at some point. But as of now, man, we're really trying to hammer in and knock out and really get y'all to be rocking with us when it comes to the boxing side of the game, man, because ain't nobody else giving you and spitting you the facts this way. I'm telling you right now, some bias, it's real, and it is what it is. The headlines may not bring as much as me putting on, Canelo's going to be fighting Demetrius Andrade in December for his third fight. Yeah, it may not bring in as much because, I'm saying, I'm giving you the real, but that's what I base my shit off. And if you guys are going to be part of the family, I want y'all to know, man, this family is all about facts and being for real. And, I'm saying, telling it how, telling it how you feel. I'm saying? Don't be scared to do so. So much love to everybody. I appreciate y'all. I had nothing but a good time up in this joint. I want to go longer. I just want to be talking, but sometimes I got to reel myself in, especially when it comes to this Fluenceboxing side of the game, man. But once again, if you guys watch this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, notification gang, and comment. All right, I'm going to get up out of here. Remember, don't let none of these other YouTubers fool you. Canelo signed a 3-fight deal with Dazn. He got Triple G in May. Excuse me. He got Bivol in May, Triple G in September, and then reportedly it's either going to be the cruiserweight champion Makabu in December, or it's going to be the 168 WBA mandatory and John Ryder. All right, those are his 2 options when it comes to December. Don't let nobody else tell you differently. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna enjoy my Friday night. I'm finna enjoy my Friday night. So I hope y'all do the same thing. Nothing but blessings, love, and salutations to y'all. I'm up out of here.